Harry is quite delusional. I believe that he behaves like an immature teenager that is still throwing one big epic tantrum. He's not listening. He is not listening to the fact that his father has made it very clear that it will not happen.
Reports suggest a silent ultimatum crossed the Atlantic this week, wrapped not in public statements but in carefully leaked narratives and strategic briefings. According to multiple commentators, Prince Harry has floated what insiders describe as a peace dossier, signaling restraint in his legal war only if conditions inside the palace shift. The response, however, has reportedly been cold and final. Rather than viewing this as reconciliation, sources close to the institution describe it as leverage that crossed a dangerous line. The clash is no longer personal. It is institutional. Analysts say this moment reframes the conflict as one of power, authority, and risk to the crown itself. And according to palace watchers, once the monarchy identifies a threat to stability, there is no return to negotiation. Prince Harry's legal campaign against the British press has unfolded over several years, driven by claims of unlawful information gathering and historical misconduct by media organizations. According to court records and public reporting, these cases were framed as a moral crusade, one aimed at correcting past abuses and exposing entrenched media culture. Supporters argued that the lawsuits represented accountability. Critics, however, questioned the broader implications. Each filing drew the monarchy closer to prolonged courtroom scrutiny, forcing the institution into proximity with ongoing litigation that risked reopening settled chapters of royal history. According to royal commentators, the cumulative effect of these lawsuits extended beyond legal outcomes. Every appearance, filing, and appeal reignited public debate around royal privacy, institutional responsibility, and internal family divisions. While Prince Harry positioned himself as an individual seeking justice, analysts argue the monarchy viewed the situation differently. From their perspective, the lawsuits tether the crown to unpredictable legal narratives and ongoing reputational exposure. Reports indicate that the so-called peace offer emerged against this backdrop. According to media coverage, Prince Harry's camp suggested that he would halt further legal action if certain conditions were met, including a pathway back into limited royal duties. Supporters framed this as compromise. Critics interpreted it as leverage. Legal analysts noted that the proposal appeared transactional, linking institutional access to personal litigation decisions. According to palace insiders, this framing raised immediate alarms. Institutional reasoning reportedly centered on precedent. Allowing any royal to negotiate duties through conditional behavior risked undermining hierarchy and discipline. Royal historians have repeatedly emphasized that service within the monarchy is not contractual. It is unconditional. Sources close to the palace suggest that this distinction made the proposal untenable regardless of intent. The refusal, therefore, was not emotional but structural. Prince William's role, according to royal observers, has been pivotal. As Prince of Wales, he is said to view stability as paramount. Commentators describe his adoption of what psychologists call the grey rock strategy, characterized by deliberate non-engagement. Rather than countering narratives or responding publicly, William has reportedly chosen silence and visible continuity of duty. Analysts argue this approach deprives controversy of oxygen. Within this framework, the peace dossier reportedly failed because it conflicted with institutional logic. According to insiders, the palace interpreted the move not as reconciliation but as escalation masked as restraint. The door, they say, did not merely close. It locked. As the legal battle continued, developments within the High Court began to reshape the narrative. According to court reporting, allegations emerged involving members of Prince Harry's legal team, raising questions about evidence handling and procedural conduct. It is important to note that these claims remain contested. Legal experts emphasize that allegations are not findings. However, analysts argue their existence alone altered the risk landscape. According to reports, opposing counsel raised concerns regarding documentation chains and witness statements. Legal commentators noted that such challenges are not unusual in complex litigation, but their presence in a case involving a senior royal elevated scrutiny. Observers argue that even indirect association with contested legal practices can carry reputational consequences for the monarchy. Legal analysts suggest that this shift redirected risk toward Prince Harry himself. What began as a campaign against media practices increasingly appeared to expose vulnerabilities within his own legal strategy. According to expert commentary, the distinction between moral advocacy and adversarial litigation became blurred. This ambiguity, analysts argue, concerned palace officials tasked with safeguarding institutional credibility. The reputational danger, according to royal historians, lies not in any single allegation but in cumulative association. The monarchy depends on public trust, neutrality, and perceived integrity. Prolonged legal entanglements threaten that equilibrium. Sources close to the palace reportedly concluded that continued proximity to the litigation posed unacceptable risk. This assessment, commentators argue, explains why the palace allegedly views Prince Harry as a liability rather than an asset. Liability, in this context, does not imply wrongdoing. It signifies unpredictability. According to analysts, institutions prioritize risk management over reconciliation when stakes reach constitutional levels. The uncertainty remains unresolved. Court proceedings continue. Allegations are contested. Outcomes are unknown. Yet according to palace watchers, the strategic decision has already been made. Engagement would amplify risk. Distance contains it. The contrast between Prince Harry's courtroom strategy and the public roles undertaken by Prince William and Catherine has become increasingly pronounced. According to media coverage, while litigation dominates headlines, the Prince and Princess of Wales have maintained a visible schedule centered on national service. Analysts describe this as strategic contrast rather than coincidence. Royal commentators argue that silence, in this case, functions as communication. By refusing to engage publicly, the palace reinforces hierarchy and continuity. This approach signals that institutional duty outweighs personal grievance. According to historians, such restraint has defined royal survival for centuries. The constitutional dimension further complicates matters. Prince Harry retains formal titles and roles that, according to legal scholars, require unimpeachable standing. Any association with prolonged legal controversy risks undermining that requirement. Analysts argue this places the monarchy at a crossroads. Preserve tradition through distance, or risk erosion through accommodation. Sources close to the palace reportedly believe the choice is clear. The institution cannot absorb additional instability. This moment, they suggest, represents a final demarcation. Not punishment, but protection. As observers assess the situation, uncertainty dominates. No verdict has been delivered. No reconciliation announced. Yet analysts agree that the relationship has entered a new phase. One defined not by emotion, but by institutional self-preservation. The conclusion remains unwritten, but the trajectory appears set. As this story continues to develop, viewers are encouraged to consider the broader themes at play. This is not simply a family dispute, but a question of power, duty, and institutional integrity. Does the monarchy have a responsibility to protect itself even when that protection excludes one of its own? Or should reconciliation outweigh risk when blood ties are involved? These are complex questions without simple answers. Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. Focus on principles rather than personalities. If you find value in calm, analytical examinations of power and governance, consider supporting this channel by liking the video and subscribing. Enable notifications to stay informed as developments unfold. The goal here is understanding, not outrage. And as history repeatedly shows, institutions endure not through noise, but through discipline, restraint, and difficult decisions.